Man, that damn intro always juices me up. It's like a superhero movie coming on, man. When you hear the Black Super Friends podcast intro, I love it. I love it.
Just break some shit up. Go over there. Just tear something up. Give me a white boy moment. Go in there and risk your deposit. Just tear up some stuff. It's so crazy. I can't help it. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Super Friends. I am the host tonight, Steve Horace Town, aka Richard Best.
Okay.
All right.
Let's echo.
I know. Okay, listen. The best part of this show is when I introduce people. Everybody has a mug on tonight, or a mug in their vicinity. The Black Super Friends mugs. Yes. Some will have coffee. Some will have. You can pour anything in it. I'll just say that.
Anything.
All right. First, let me go to the man who just returned home from a nice family vacation. I want to hear all about it shortly. He has a new Harley Davidson. He has a new hat. He has a new pair of shoes. That's how the song goes. He got a whole new outlook on life. The beard getting whiter. Boy, you will know him tonight and forever on as Hardy Davidson Sr.
Hey man, I had a good trip, man. I'm happy to be here, man, on Monday, man. On Monday.
All right. I'm drinking Coca-Cola on air. Coca-Cola, fix me that check. Second, I'm going to my main man at the bottom, who is doing, always got some fashionable, always has some thought-provoking conversation to bring to the screen. And tonight, he just says Chris Leo, but I always build him up. I always put something on him. I want to introduce you to the guy that my mama loves to see. And when he's around, I just seem to be the best kid on earth. It kind of takes the pressure off of me. Tonight, you will know him as the architect of confusion, the master Leo, Chris Leo.
Thank you. You had me at your mama's least favorite.
No, I didn't say that.
But shout out to Bishop, right? Thank you for coming on. Your invitation is still on the table, Bishop. Your invitation is still on the table. I promise we won't even cuss on the episode that you come on, but we welcome you to come on the show.
I'm gonna do my best to make that happen next week. And never say at least because probably one of her most favorites. All right. All right. Next, I'm going to the man who will behave tonight. He will have no infraction. He will have the best Wi-Fi this side of the Mississippi. He won't give me jokes because I am locked and loaded for your ass tonight. You will know him as the amazing Zay, the international ladies man.
We will start with a pause, and with God's will, everything will go great. How y'all doing, fellas? What's happening? I know y'all missed me. I missed y'all. I missed y'all out there in live land too. But we're gonna get it cracking tonight. Welcome to another Monday night.
Yeah, all right. First of all, I want to give y'all some news, but I'm going to keep it short. On the Black Super Friends page, I posted a meme. It wasn't even a meme, it was a picture. And every year to celebrate the March on Selma, Democrats and, I don't know, traditional Negroes get together and they do this march across the Pettus Bridge. I forgot the whole name of the bridge, but the Pettus Bridge. Very iconic because it's the bridge that Martin Luther King walked across when he was trying to get equality for black people in this country. The amazing thing is, in this country, we have been still fighting for the exact same paper, all the stuff that he wanted. We're still fighting for it, and it's 2023. Everybody else seems to get rights, and they tell you to vote, and nobody really ever pays attention to our list. I don't know why I'm about to start feeling like stop voting and just get your money up. That's what America's about. So in my rant, I just want to say I was embarrassed and I just told a lot of people. I sent this picture to a lot of people. You had Jesse Jackson in a wheelchair, half dead. You had Al Sharpton, little body, big ass head. You had Joe Biden going left to right with somebody holding him up. And they were marching across the bridge saying, we want voting rights, and we want things improved. And you're walking with the goddamn president across the bridge, the person who could do get you all of those things. If he made it a priority, hey, even an executive order probably get challenged in court, but you didn't even make that effort. So this is one of those moments as a black conservative, I say, bro, wake up with some hypocrisy. Y'all vote for these people. He's in Ukraine. He's at LGBT marches. They just gave a transgender woman of the year or something. Come on. That is Horace Towns. Come on, black people moment. So next time you people tell you about voting, it's time to figure out what you voted for. If there was no such thing as Democrats and Republicans, where would we be? You would be forced to actually sit down and figure out what this person is about instead of just going Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. That's my rant. I don't know if y'all seen that, if y'all had any thoughts on it, but it's stuff like that just angers the hell out of me because it's like we keep doing the same thing and expecting change. Embarrassing. All right. Let me go. You know what? I'm going to go straight to my main man first. After a road trip up and down the Mississippi, my main man came home just like I don't even know that Bible story. But listen, Mario Hardy, a.k.a. Hardy Davidson Sr., traveled from his home to Tampa to South Florida with his family, and he came back to show everybody in town, look at me now. How was your trip, Hardy Davidson?
That's actually pretty good, man. You know, it was unexpected. It was expected, but unexpected. I had work in Tampa. My wife did also. So we thought we'd just make it a family trip. My mom, I was coming that close to Palm Beach, so my mom had some vacation, so she came up and spent the week with us, and we kind of hung out. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty good, pretty interesting. And I said, you know what? My youngest son, a lot of my family, especially the older ones in my family, have never seen him. And, you know, the older you get in life, you start cherishing those moments because you just never know. So I was like, man, I can't miss this opportunity being this close to make sure they see, you know, the youngest of my camp. So I came on home, and then I just came in right quick and, you know, turned around and seen. But this trip, it was impactful because it was more planned out. I came in on Friday, kind of hung out with my homies, and then on Saturday, I spent all the time with my family. You know, Sunday morning, I got the hell on back on the road. I used to make this trip a lot when I was younger, and it seemed like a breeze. It's not so breezy the older you get, especially with two kids and the bathroom breaks. So I don't know if I'm gonna make that trip again in that manner. It might be just have to pack extra luggage and fly and pay the little baggage fees. But I had a good time, man. You know, this is the first time I ever went home and didn't have like normally when I go home, I see a lot of people, I do a lot of things, and I kind of feel like I had to look this up, a survivor's remorse. Like I kind of feel bad, or I feel like I can't share some stuff, or I feel like I couldn't do some stuff, or I kind of feel like, you know, it's just myself. Nobody made me feel that way. It's just how I feel sometimes when I'm at home and then I leave or not come back. But this time I didn't. I seen a lot of people and I had a good time. Like I enjoyed people. I seen a couple of my cousins. I want to give a shout out to my little cousin Rocky, man. He made my weekend. One of the reasons why I had a good weekend, man. I seen him. And, you know, it's my little cousin. So he was just so excited to tell me, man, I went to his house, beautiful house. He was telling me the things he's doing and showed me his rental property. He was like, yeah, cuz I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? And his brother and me and his older brother talk a lot. I'm so proud of him. He got like 11 Airbnbs or something in Jacksonville. So, you know what I'm saying? So we talk, and to see where he came from and to see where he going, man, it just kind of made me happy, man. You know what I'm saying? Sitting at his house, talking to him, seeing him progress, talking to my other little cousins, and seeing another one of my little cousins, Sean, he finally got his CDLs. And I went over there and he was whining about working so hard. And it kind of brought tears to my eye, like, yeah, that's good for you. He had his kids over there. And he was working the night shift, telling me how he don't go to the club as much as us. And he was saving his money. And that kind of stuff just made me feel a little happier this time than normal. You know what I'm saying? Normally I see my dogs always, you know what I'm saying? But my family, as everybody, how they woes and they highs and they lows. But this time I kind of left feeling good, man. Like, man, I see, there's some people down there doing pretty good, man. That's in my family. You know what I'm saying? So that's how my trip went in its totality, man. I kind of say I left home this time feeling real good, man. Happy to be home and gone.
Okay, well, it's interesting you said survivor's remorse. I wanted to ask you about that the other day. I really don't fully how I think survivors, the definition of it might be different from everybody else, and I should have probably looked it up. Do y'all? And I'm thinking you're saying the contents of your future, through your evolution, your circumstances changing, you're doing better. You might have, you could consider yourself a little more blessed than you ever could imagine. Is that more the survivor's remorse you're speaking on?
Yeah, it's almost like I don't think I do anything better than anybody else. I feel like all us had the same, somewhat, some more worse than others, but we was almost in the same ballpark. So then sometimes I leave and ask myself, like, why do I have this stuff and other people don't? Like, what am I doing? Like, why did I get to miss prison when I talked to my homeboys in prison? Why did I not get shot? Why did I not have a bunch of you can sit back and point to stuff, but I believe that like mercy and grace kind of guides you. So it's almost kind of get way on me, like what made God give me the mercy to escape a lot of those ramifications, because I definitely wasn't perfect, and I definitely made a lot of wrong decisions, and I definitely was fucked up too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, I can see why I'm so good because I went to Harvard and I didn't have that path. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was the same knucklehead as a lot of people I talk to. So then sometimes it feels bad. It's like a bad feeling, like I got lucky and I don't know why. And that's what I be feeling sometimes. I can't explain why I feel that way, but it do kind of weigh on me in the past. You know what I'm saying?
I think what I spoke about 2 weeks ago was I had and then realized that was the term. Like I think about some of my childhood friends, like I had one friend, we had just talked in front on S Avenue. His brothers came and said, "Oh, you want to ride with us?" I'm like, "No, I can't leave the house." He left, dapped me up, and they went down and hit a water main, and he died. I think we was like 10 or 11. So just seeing some of the most craziest circumstances happen, kind of like, so I've had moments where I'm like, man, I'm either lucky, blessed, or so, you had that kind of guilt sometimes. I don't say it's guilt. You just look like you just put you into a train of thought. Chris, do you understand this survivor's remorse, and do you have it?
I don't have it. I think survivor's remorse is for people that has got themselves to a certain level of success where they can look back and say, well, I've survived that. I don't think I've came that far. I'm still in that process, I say. I'm happy. I'm farther than what I used to be. Where I used to be. I'm doing better than what I used to. But I haven't survived, or I take pride in being able to survive the things that I've been through and things like that. So, no, I don't have survivor's remorse.
It's amazing that it's amazing that you say that. To me, considering like I have a high admiration for who you are now and all the things that you achieved. I don't think you give yourself enough credit, considering what some people may consider handicaps or, things that you might not per se have had. Like, brother, you work hard, you've been intentional. And I remember sitting on S Avenue, sitting in that rocket chair, talking about things you want to achieve, and to see you actually have them and make those difficult decisions. So, you might not have survivor's remorse, but I definitely can say that, bro. Like, I've seen you go 100 miles in a positive direction, and I think you're going to continue to do such things, man. I always gauge myself like this. Uncle Junior always tell us about 5-year plans, and that was foreign to us. But I always remember staying on S Avenue, me, you, and Pooh. That was one of the moments that made me get my life together.
Yes.
So to see us all where we at now, I couldn't imagine the people that did advance and then some of the people that didn't, really move from where they was. So that made my survivor's remorse looking like certain people, I feel like you had opportunities and potential, and you didn't take advantage of it. You know, not seeing like, bro, life is a gift, and you ain't taking advantage of it. But you know, that's just my thought. Zay, the international latest man. Okay, Chris.
Before you go, I hate to, but I like to thank you, man, because that was a dark time in my life when I had to move back home. I had to move away from my daughter. I had to move. I moved in with you and your brother, man, and I appreciate y'all welcoming me in there. But that was a dark times. They used to come through. But they was going through it at that time too. So we was in the trenches. I don't know what it was about that little 2 or 3 years, man. But we was around. I think Zay had just came back from St. Louis, maybe, or something like that, and we was all. That was like man boot camp. 2 years. But I really want to say I appreciate y'all, man. Your whole family welcomed me in. It was rough, bro. It was really rough. I was at a real low point in my life when y'all let me lay up. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it.
That was some of the most fun times of my life. Those Saturdays, everything, bro. Listen, you keep saying that, Chris, but we family, bro. As much as I be want to kick you in the ass and vice versa sometimes, we are family. Like, bro, God put us all together for a reason. Like, I look back on 30th and how we all came together. That's by no mistake, man. But listen, I remember getting a letter from I think I was going to go buy something, and Transport gave me a letter where they took my money, and I was like, I have my son, and they took my money. Like, man, I couldn't win. There was some dark moments, boy. I'm talking about, I was in the front yard crying, like, so cussing the sky, like, I'm raising my kid, and they just took my money. Like, bro, you can't make that stuff up. Zay.
Man, survivor's remorse, I don't think so. I think I had a different remorse. Like Chris, you spoke on a very important time, moving back from St. Louis, because I left here early, didn't know a soul in St. Louis, moved up there, did really well, and then came back home to like, what the fuck is this? Because it's a bigger city for one. Let's just start there. So everything else is, even though to them they wouldn't understand why I moved from West Palm Beach to St. Louis. That demographic there is a total different layout from what we're used to. So me coming back, I kind of kicked myself. I was kind of mad at first, like, damn, why did you come back? Because I did have some of those opportunities that Horace talked about. I stopped along the way when I drove back, I stopped. I hollered at Hardy. If I ain't mistaken, I offloaded some stuff there to help him furnish his first spot that he had gotten. That house was huge and empty because of what we was getting to go, getting going. Had an opportunity there. A good friend of mine had offered me a job, said, you got to go back home. You can stay here. But God still brought me back home. So I got to bump into the people that Horace was talking about, that get afforded opportunities and just don't take them. And I think when you said survivor's remorse, Hardy, I'm stuck on it because I don't feel that way. Like I've changed. I used to be that way, what you're talking about, because you feel like, dang, I'm not any different from any one of them. He's one of the guys. I want to see them get the same attributes and accolades or ascend that ladder the same way that I did. And then I started realizing it's choices. You know what I'm saying? They make choices. They choose to do this, probably because they haven't seen much more than what we're accustomed to seeing in our small circumference. And so they just don't believe. So like you said, Horace, they don't think that they're doing as good as they are or can do even better than what they're doing. And I think that saddens me. But one thing I had to learn about that is that's the choice that they made. I used to always say it's bad luck that they had, but it's just bad choices. And then I had to put my head down because my heart is big. So I'm always trying to help others get up. And I don't do so much. Then they start to drain you. And so I'm just starting to learn with that. Like, yeah, I don't have the remorse. I love you with the love of the Lord, but it is every man for himself and God for us all. And I pray that they get it right. And if they don't, I'm going to still love them. I'm homeboys, but I got to keep on trudging because that's what I'm quite sure they would do to me. That's how I feel. But it's no survivor's remorse. Always a grandiose time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can testify that one. Let me ask you guys something. Because I swear, bro, listen, boy, I could write a movie and y'all might have to be mad at me because y'all don't want to sue me, boy. I sit there and just laugh at all our moments, bro. Under the street lights, without naming people, the person that had the high speed chase with no power steering, like, bro, it was so many damn stories that we overcame, man. You just gotta, yeah, man. Yeah, interesting. So let me ask you something. With all that being said, do you know what your purpose is in this season of your life? Or what's your purpose? What's your purpose?
I'll take it first. I'll go. I toyed with that one for a little bit because I'm always, me and Hardy have these conversations about purpose and you know, what is it that you actually want to do. And man, my gift is my curse. I'm good at a lot of things, or I learn things quickly. You know what I'm saying? And so it's, for me, I have a different problem than most people. Most people are one-trick ponies. It's like, I'm good at this, so I just do this very, very well. But for myself, I'm good at a lot of things. So it's like, damn, say, what do you do? Which is a whole different animal and beast. But what I got from it is just building. Right now it's a building phase. And I was thinking of it. I'm like, I feel like Daniel in the Lion's Den, only because I have so many ideas and things that I want to do, right? And it's just like organizing them to get them together. But it seems like you're failing because it's not coming to fruition the way how you envisioned it. But yet, what Horace alluded to with Chris, everyone sees the miles in distance of who you were and where you're going, except for you. Mm-hmm. So you gotta have faith that you're not gonna sink. You're not gonna be eaten by the lions, as I alluded to Daniel in the Lion's Den, because that's a scary place to be. So your rock is faith. That's it. Like you can't do it. You can do, faith without work is dead. Obviously, people say that cliche, but then what is the work that you're supposed to be doing if you don't know the direction in which you want to go fully? So you got to rely on whose plan is it? Well, it's not Zay's. It ain't even my life. So I feel like I'm in that phase right now. So I'm laying my groundwork, and I hate it because I feel like I should be in a skyscraper already, but delayed gratification, which a lot of people do not have. And we live in the microwave generation, so everyone thinks that I started a business today, I should be rich tomorrow. Unfortunately, it don't work like that. So I'm going through that trench of, man, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we feel like, did I make a mistake? Am I doing the wrong thing? Well, I think that I'm right there. So I'm just building. What I'm building, I don't know yet, guys. If they continue, I'll let y'all know, but I am working. So I'm in the building stage in my purpose phase right now. What about you guys?
We can't hear you.
That was smooth though.
Chris Leo.
Oh man, this question stumped me too. I'm stumped by it. I don't know. I don't know what's my purpose. I think that when I think of purpose, I think that it's connected to it has a religious foundation. I think to have purpose, you must have a creator, and that was because someone had to think of you or create you and put you here to have a purpose. And I don't know how to I don't have the gift of discernment. I don't know when God is talking to me. I don't know how to translate these things, messages from God. I just don't know how to do that. So me, I personally, instead of thinking about my purpose, I think about my reasons. I think my reason is, a lot of my reasons is from my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I think that I want to be the dad that I always wanted. So that's a big thing to me. But I wanted to always take care of my family. I wanted to be the reason why my family strives. That's how all my life I tried to try. Even with basketball, I wanted to play NBA so I could take care of my family. I left school, got into doing things that I shouldn't have been doing to be able to take care of my family. Then music, all these things, the driving force was to be able to take care of my family because I thought that was my purpose. And I think that if I had to choose anything for a purpose, it had to be like, I think I'm here to serve. I'm here for service. Like I take pride in being the person that you can depend on, that you can call if you need some help. If you need somebody to talk to, you can hit me up. I'm available for that. Even my business, I made a business so if you need something moved, I can be of service to you. I coach basketball, so I can be of service. So if anything is my purpose, I would think my purpose is is to be a man of service to people. So I don't know if that completely answered the question, but that's all I got.
Sing services. If you guys didn't catch that, he picks up in a pickup. Just so y'all know. Well, Chris, I know you, my brother. We struggle with that same thing. I too don't know when he be talking to me, how he be talking. I actually had that conversation this week too. That might be something we expound on at a later time. But I'm with you, bro. Like, we got to figure that out though, because man, that discernment I struggle with too. So,
Chris, Leo, I talked to my mom until I was about to start my church, start my ministry. You know what? Let's have a moment. Maybe we should ask each other what we thought each other's purpose is, or what we see in each other. Because the reality is, bro, like I say, man, I have a lot of respect for you. We have different approaches to things, but when I do look at you, you told me one thing that I hated, and I understood it because it changed my life. You told me one day being a big brother is a sucky job. Remember that?
I have a gift of being able to give advice to people that's in much better situations than I am. That's just my gift, dog. You can come to me, a multi-millionaire, and I can put you up on something, and I ain't got a dollar.
Well, I said that all the time, ain't it? But it changed my life because it made me understand that certain things are, it's almost like we all have a cross to bear. So a lot of people sit around and complain about life, We all have something that we have to overcome, right? A lot of people say F it. That's how they turn to substance abuse, and certain people just give up on life. And then you got people that allow that to motivate them. One thing I've always seen was that you understood. You may have even understood that you took on the spirit of restoration. But all the stuff that you've had to do in your past, everything you've done has been to restore your family structure. So you put a lot of stuff on your back. So that spirit of restoration isn't easy, but it's generational. So the things that you're doing is going to put your life and your daughter's life back on track. You giving her things that you wanted from your trauma. You want to create, restore peace and order in your family. So the spirit of restoration I do see as part of your life. And but the pause to that, I want to tell you, bro, your heart is big and you like to serve. Understand, everybody's not your assignment. Sometimes you can get in. Listen, God trying to do something in somebody's life, and you keep interfering, and God gonna slap your hand, and He gonna make you feel what He's trying to get through to them. You know why? I learned that lesson very, very hard. Me trying to be Captain Save them, God trying to do something to somebody, and guess what? You want some of this? Wow, boom, there you go. So, bro, I encourage you, man. I respect you for everything that you've done, because being the strong person, being the person that can understand their position is a sucky job. So I salute you on your restoration attempts, man. Hardy Davidson.
It's interesting to sit back and to listen to y'all version of purpose is interesting because the question was, what's your purpose in this season? And I specifically said season because your purpose can change in life as you grow, just like everything else in life, right? So it's not and I think a lot of times people hear the word purpose and make it bigger than what it's supposed to be, when it's actually shifting as you growing and as you accomplishing stuff in life, right? People hear purpose and think, what am I supposed to do through life? I don't believe that there's something you're supposed to do when you was 9, the same thing you're supposed to do when you was 20. I don't believe the same calling on your life at 20 is the same as 40 or 50 or 80. I think that in life, you can have different variations of a purpose, because just like you have different usage of yourself, because you might be in different environments. So your purpose might change because, like Zay alluded to, you have different tools in your toolbox. So even though you've been using the wrench or whatever it is so much, you might be used to that, but you just don't know. You have other tools too, and you have to switch your purpose to your attitude that you're in sometimes. That's how I feel. I'm not a pastor. I didn't read this. This is just me thinking of purpose, right? Because I look at my life and I say, in some points, I was the purpose for big brother. My purpose was, my mom was working 2 jobs to make sure her house was straight, to make sure stuff was done. Then when I get older, it was just to stay safe and to be safe. Like, my purpose was just not to embarrass my mom at some points of my life, like not to be just the child that end up in prison for the rest of her life. Now, as I look at my life in this season right now, I understand I'm a dad again 2 times over. And my daughter's grown though. I'm a husband, and I'm working. I'm building. I'm buying stuff, and a lot of accomplishments. But a lot of stuff I overcame too. I think as much as I don't want to, I think in this period of my life, my purpose is to be transparent. I think it's to be as transparent as I can about the steps that it takes brutally. So a lot of times, even when it comes to marriage, like a lot of people, I just got married, they call on that and they talk about the good, the bad, the woes, the highs, but it's to be transparent, because I believe you being transparent that you can't be hypocritical. And I think in this world right now, it's a lot of hypocrites that's turning people away from using their other stuff in their bags. So in this season right now, even though I'm normally a person who don't like to share a lot, like I don't like to show what I got. I don't like to tell people what I'm doing. That's not something I really like to do. I share it with my homeboys and close people as a motivation, but I don't like to do that because I didn't never want to be seen as somebody who's looking down on somebody or think he's better than anybody. Because I understand it's the mercy of God and the reason why I'm here. But I think in this season, that God calling me to come up out of that and to show more so I can have more to say about how I got there and to speak about the mercy of God and how he took me through and how the tenacity. Because a lot of people, they see not even the finished product. They see where I'm at today, but it's been 15 years of getting to this point. And people closest to me have seen those 15 years, but a lot of people seen D Hardy, and then they come to see this person. It's like, whoa, it just happened, and it didn't happen overnight. You have your woes, your ups, your downs, and your tenacity. And I think in this season, which is uncomfortable for me, it's a season of sharing more than what I would like to. So I think that's my purpose. Chris, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let it go. Chris alluded to the purpose of serve. I think, from the beginning of the time God created Adam, and the first thing he did is give him an assignment of work. So as a human being, believing in God or not, your purpose is always to serve, because that's what you was created for. So that's what we are created for to do. So the restoration part, what Tootie was alluding to, is even more in depth, because what happened is that's tricky, because I also felt like I gotta be the one. I gotta do this for them. I gotta do this for them. But then Tootie also alluded to one more thing. See, Jesus went to the cross to save, and God let him go. It won't be another one before or after. So you can't save. All you can do is help people along the way and plant seeds and then hope it grow. And that was a hard thing for me to learn. That was a hard thing for me to learn, because you love people and you damn sure don't never want to leave nobody. And you don't want to have nobody go. And that's when I think that survivor's remorse part come in, because sometimes as you grow in life, and you look around, you're like, damn, a lot of people in the rooms I'm in right now, I don't recognize. These not my people. And then it make you feel lonely. It make you feel like, fuck, like I want my people here. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I learned in this season, if you have the calling of restoration, nothing can stop that. You see, that thing about that is, if you're put here to restore, then you have to have your head zeroed in on the promised line, because what happens is if you keep grabbing back, if you keep doing that, the restoration process will never happen. You will never get to a point where you can actually restore, because you keep tearing yourself off and giving yourself a part of yourself away. So I think that's just important, man. You know, what Zay was alluding to, especially about growing and not knowing. I think that's a fear of every man. I think that's a fear of every human being. That's why we're scared to die, of not knowing, the unknown, what's next. Even Christians who say they believe in heaven, still scared to die, because you still in the end of your heart believe that I don't know what's next. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if I was to tell people about purpose, I would say, don't focus on the biggest thing of what I'm supposed to do in my life. It's in this season right now, like, because everybody in different ebbs and flows in their life, right? So, you know, you're going to have some rainy days, some sunshiny days. So you got to recognize what season you're in and say, what am I supposed to do to be a blessing to people in this season? And I think that's how you find your purpose or where you at right now, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's interesting, because you said purpose in this season. Boy, I thought about that for all day, somewhat, right? Because my purpose, my intentions not necessarily be my purpose. So right now, what I'm working on is legacy. Like everything, I'm doing a lot of stuff that's not really for my benefit, but in my mind, it's like creating opportunities, whether it's for my boy. Like I'm working on some stuff for my boys. That way, even if I'm not here tomorrow, I did do the work and put stuff in place, you know, to give them somewhat of an edge. Me trying to retire my mom, you know, certain stuff that I'm doing is legacy. And so I don't know if that's tied to my purpose because that's what I want to do. I'm the things that I get from Pastor Lovett is some mentorship because I have a lot of questions, you know what I mean? And we don't often have, we talk about a lot of stuff as far as guys, but we don't have these type of conversations a lot. So I applaud us for having those type of conversations. But still trying to figure out, man, God is taking me in different doors. And some of the stuff feel like it's meant to be, like I'm getting ushered in to those situations. I have the most unique stories. You know, next week I'll be in DC on Capitol Hill talking to, you know, different peoples and members of Congress about housing. I never pictured me being this deep into housing. Hell, even being me, I don't have a master's degree and all that stuff, but I actually have the same person from 30th Street who was not innocent can say that he knows the former president of the United States or the governor and stuff like that. So I still struggle with my purpose, but I do understand that. So I learned that a lot of blessings come through me and opportunities. So I may not per se get blessed as much as I think I should, but then I look around and say that I have been blessed. So purpose part in this season, I'm still trying to figure out. I just keep being intentional. So in the meantime, until I figure it out. But one thing I will say, I don't know who made that point. Bro, I have no fear. Like Mark, you was talking about when Christians that say they believe in, you know, God and all that, but they scared to die. One of the biggest things that changed my life was not being afraid to fail. I think a lot of times things that helped me is losing my fear. I had a lot of fear in my early life. Right now, I do stuff. I don't care about who's going to say what's going to be the joke. And I've done pretty well doing what I wanted to do. And I don't think a lot of people do that enough. We'll have an idea and then we go to other people looking for their validation. Nah, some of the most successful people are the most quirkiest, loneliest, oddest people until they achieve something and then they're a genius. So I've learned a lot in life. So yeah, interesting. Chris Leo?
I don't know why you had a thought that you weren't gonna be able to make it this far in housing. You remind me so much of Ben Carson.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't even know how to take that joke.
Is he the leader of the housing and development or something like that?
He was. The interesting part of it, the man is a master medical doctor, right? And Trump put him over housing. And it made everybody laugh. But the brilliance of it, if you meet Dr. Carson, he doesn't fail. He came from Section 8 housing. And guess who was the most beneficial person that you had in 20 years? It was Ben Carson, who was like, this is stupid. I don't understand why everything's so tough. He went in there and green lighted all these projects and said, hey, just get it done. We'll figure it out later. So yes, I went out to dinner with Mr. Carson. He'll talk so slow. That is one of the smartest men ever. So yeah, bro.
It was a compliment then.
Yeah, he one of the smartest men ever, bro. A lot of the housing projects that came, especially in Atlanta with Keisha Bottoms, and even here, he just said, get it done. He didn't do politics. He don't understand politics. Should he probably been the Surgeon General or something? Made sense. But I'd be damned if he wasn't the most beneficial in housing, despite what the media tell you. The brother got in there and made stuff happen. So it's interesting, man. But like I said, Chris, when you went to rapping or whatever, like, you know, people have stuff to say. And then when you take off, they be like, boy, I knew it. That was my dog. Yeah, I see people have more pride than they have courage, man. And that gives back a lot. So, with that being said, I'm going right back to Chris Leo.
Mm.
Who is the most influential person to you right now in your life? Right now, at the age of 30, whatever you are, who is the most influential person to you right now?
Okay, well, that's another question that I struggled with because I don't know if if there's a man that's most influential to me. I would like to say that I think that is a more than a man, a movement. I think it's more of a movement. Like I'm influenced every day by the manosphere, this man movement that we see that's sweeping the internet. I personally like to think it came when the explosion of Kevin Samuels, well, it opened our eyes to a lot of things. It opened our eyes to dating. It opened our eyes to what women actually want, and we got to hear them say the things that they interested in. So it's like the curtain got lifted up. So if you're getting played nowadays, you don't have no choice because there's so much information. The internet is about men exchanging game with each other, and I think that's amazing. And it doesn't just end at dating. You can get spiritual information on the internet now from men. I hardly put a TD Jakes sermon in the group chat every week. You know what I'm saying? You can get financial information. I just like this new form of information. I think that we are new media because if I like to think that this whole explosion came when the explosion of Kevin Samuels hit. That's when you start to see so many men getting on the internet, just speaking their mind. I like to also say that we did a show on Kevin Samuels' explosion when the average at best video came. So we was explosion of Kevin Samuels. So we are part of this new media. We are a voice in this new uprising of men saying how they feel and talking in their space. So it may not be a man, it's this whole movement that's very, very influential to me. Every time I get on work, I want to hear a podcast about something, fathers being fathers and men being men and stuff like that. So I just think the whole manosphere altogether is the most influential thing to me right now.
Zay.
I don't know. This one stumped me too. I have.
It shouldn't, Zay.
But it does.
I'm right here.
Cross yourself right off the list, buddy.
That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with you right there.
I do not aspire to wear Buddy Lee jeans. I am all right.
Oh, you son of a ball.
No, that one, I don't know, man. Like, I'm with you, Chris. I don't know if I could put it to one person being influential. It's so many things that have changed or that we've learned to unlearn. Definitely wasn't normal. You seen his dress code? Ain't going there either.
Oh, boy, that's them fighting words at this point.
Don't worry.
Because he think he's snazzy right now. You can't tell Norman nothing about no dress. He think
You're actually right. You should have seen him Friday night. He was in rough form. He was fresh too.
I've been seeing him now. Shade game and all. Now I got to give him props where I give him props.
However snazzy, he is not influential. He's not for say. I'm sorry. Love you, brother. It's not happening. But no, I'm still stumped with that one, man. I look at so many brothers that's doing, amazing things, and like Chris said, the knowledge that they impact and pour into us and it impacts our lives. But I can't really say that any one of them have influenced. They've taught me something, and I've added that to my bag of tricks or tools. Oh man,
it's supposed to be a serious conversation, Norman. This is supposed to be a serious conversation. Chill out.
He got hamburger meat. But no, man, I don't know, man. It's gonna have to probably be the women, man. That are in my family that I'm looking at. Them pulling through, them showing me perseverance because I ain't getting the men on my side of the family. And just that, man, no matter what you're going through, you can get through it. Like you said, just kind of keep striking away at the iron, just keep hitting it, keep going, and you'll get there. But that's probably it. I don't have one person. That was a tricky question for me. But it's a lot of things that I like that I see is going on, but not one person is influential to me to that point where I can name it, I should say. But go ahead, Horace, carry on, because I know you're going to tell them it's me. You know, I got you with your first pair of ankle-out pants, you know, wearing shoes with no socks. I've been very influential. Got you international, even though that was new and foreign for you. I know you don't want to go to Mexico right now, but we got you out there, thanks to me. Cortina had a little bit to do with it, but it was mainly me. So go ahead and give my flowers. I'm waiting on them.
Well, let me just tell you this. Amber, please don't listen. If anything, Zay was my first protege. I taught the Negro everything he apparently didn't apply to his life. Second of all, there may be purpose. One thing Xavier has consistently done since he was 5 is he is addressing food. Whether it's short fit, he gonna wear the shit nobody else gonna wear. But they gonna, picture perfect. Maybe you should start thinking about this, trying to be a stylist or, you know, stuff like that. That's when we talk about purpose. That is one of your talents. You just did the photo shoot when you had the hat on and the leather for whatever. I forgot who commercial that was. But seriously, bro, you've always been a dressing person, so I don't know why you never went down that avenue, you know. Seriously, you know who probably the most influential person at this point to me is the person that I thought I had that blueprint, but we didn't take it that far yet. I'm gonna give it to Country Wayne, but the second person gonna be Mike Bless. Simply because, bro, with the opportunities, I always tell people, you get some money, you can go through money, but if you take that money and plant that money and invest in things and people, man, one thing I got to give Country Wayne credit for. We used to laugh at our grandparents about watching soap operas, but I'd be damned if every day I have not been tuned in to watch this soap opera that has turned into a career for so many people. Whether I'm looking at Mike Bless, whether I'm looking at Amber, whether I'm looking at, I forgot the girl, that's the Flawless. I'm looking at Roe. All these people were internet celebs, and this man is going city to city, putting people on, giving them opportunities. So, bro, like, he didn't listen. He left all of the other. He is doing it right now. So I gotta give my respect, and I gotta say that Country Wayne came and did something I wanted to do, and I kind of seen that blueprint, but he's taking it to new heights. All the people he employed, all the segments that he's pumping out, all the money he's making off of these reels and clips, man, that's amazing. You know, that's like, he's like another Tyler Perry. This brother actually went out and created his own thing. And I'd be dang if we on tune in every day. And I like the messages. And second of all, my brother does not cuss on any of this stuff. So some of the segments are funny, but it's something that I gotta respect. You know, the brother took his money and turned it into his own network before the networks come to him. And you gotta, like he said, he got 10 kids, you know. But I think we had that formula. Our time is coming, but respect to Country Wayne, and second to the big homie Mike Bless. These people are taking advantage of their opportunities. Ro, you is gorgeous. Amber is gorgeous. Like, to see that kind of black excellence right now, I got to take my hat off to them. And y'all should check out those segments, because it really touches on a whole lot of stuff that I think is really impactful right now. Hardy Davidson Sr.
Hey, that was a good one, Horace. I watched him every day, and I seen the progression of it too. I seen it from when he was doing all the stuff and had one cameraman. His kids is in it. He gets his kids money. His brothers was in it. His daddy be in it. From a person who coming from right outside of Macon, in a little small town right outside Wild Hunted. That was a good one, because he has a soap opera. Every day he puts like 5 or 6 or 7 shows up, and they get millions of views. And he on show and Mike running it. So, you know what I'm saying? And then this person directed it. So he putting a lot of black people. That's a good analogy, because he is like the internet Tyler Perry.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. But I would say mine is Dr. Boris Watkins.
Hmm.
Right, boy.
I listen to his show like faithfully on about like as we spoke about like me trying to get to the next level and trying to get knowledge that I didn't have growing up. I like you said, I didn't go to school to be a mathematician. I didn't study economics at the highest level. So right now, one thing people do is know how to get money, but a lot of people from our demographic don't know how to multiply their money or keep their money.
Mm-hmm.
Watching him, one of the things I like that he do is begin every segment with telling you what his show represents. And he was like, we're going to talk about culture, and we're going to talk about the betterment of Black people in economics. Anybody can watch my show, but we're B1 crowd, Black first crowd. So I'm not saying I'm going against anybody else, but my job and my show is for the betterment of Black people progressing economically. And I think he give a lot of game out. He speak a lot about a lot of stuff, and he's a money and an economic mind. So you're gonna hear political stuff that he don't get into. He don't get. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna give you what's going on behind why the Democrats say this, why the Republicans say this, why housing doing this, why housing doing that. And I think a lot of times I told myself this year, I got to make room to not make an excuse and grow. Because like Chris said, it's too much information out here. We sit here and say, we don't know. Nobody taught me this. That's not an excuse no more because the internet is too free. It's free. You can turn on almost all these people we just named. It's on there for free, just talking. And you can just tune into it and then just learn. I'm saying him, influential. I think he's influencing a lot of my spending and my investments as I move forward right now. And like, man, keeping me up on what I should invest in and when I shouldn't invest in what time. So I think lately it's been about his show and his aspect on his point of view in the market. So that's a good person for me.
Well, I thought I was gonna bomb on this question, man. I swear I thought I was gonna bomb on this question. Y'all, everybody actually somewhat agree with me. Whew.
Yeah, you know what my second person is? My brother Jamian. Simply because, bro, we grew up in an era where everything's so traditional. And I always say that, growing up, we didn't really have you go to church, you be respectful, you listen, you don't really ask no questions. If you really had a question, might get popped in the mouth and you don't work. Just listen to the Bible and the scripture. You really weren't allowed to even kind of have your own mind, even though they tell you to get your own understanding. So when I had these conversations, there are so many young pastors now that I can see as Black men. Like, you're a pastor, but you're a Black man as well. And they found a way to balance it out. So when I see Jamian Lovett, I see Abdias Pierre, I even see Anthony Townsend, who's a singer, but he talks about being married and stuff. To see everyday people that are having some transparency for the benefit of others is amazing. So when Hardy's our spiritual guy on our show, Hardy's came into his own being transparent and saying, hey, I ain't got it all figured out, but blah, blah, blah. I can respect that. And that's over the 4 seasons we've done this, everyone has had a transparent season. But we started the podcast with me having all these problems and sharing them and, getting some deliverance in the most awkward times, listening to Chris, Yeah, Ed, I appreciate you. So, yeah.
I think Friday, I don't know if I did get a chance to tell you that or not, but you said some things, and shout out to you and Jamie. Somebody actually approached me about the show that you and Jamie do and was talking about how it does help them. And I can't remember right now who it was, but they did say something to me about it. And that happens a lot. We go out, Black Super Friends this and stuff like that. And that's always cool because for us, we always feel like shit. We just getting out here talking and, trying to sharpen each other. But we see that it impacts other people. So I guess I'm saying this to you because you were talking about purpose. And I always say about being a conduit. You know what I'm saying? We're conduits. God uses for all type of reasons. You know what I'm saying? So you're having a conversation with Jamie and asking, real deal questions that you really got in your head, but it's a question that someone else had. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting answered. So like you said, us going to church and it was always, shut up, do as you told, never really giving us the why, you know what I'm saying, so that we could figure out the how. And you're kind of doing that. You're putting the pieces together for people. We always talk about communication and how comprehension is always missed, but that little breakdown and segment that y'all doing is helping and impacting a lot of people. So that could be a part of your purpose right now in this season. That's just something I saw, so I'm just sharing it with you. But that was dope work. Because if somebody stepped to me about it, I'm quite sure they said something to somebody else to get them to watch or whatever the case may be. So that means y'all doing the work. So flowers for that right now, to be honest to you.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. I'm going to tell you, we do have some notoriety. I was in the inlet with 2 other Black Super Friends, and the biggest girl at the bar said, "Oh my God," she grabbed up her face. She said, "Oh my God, I watch your show all the time." I said, "What show?" She like the Superman. I say, "There's 2 of them right back there," and I pointed. So I don't know if she came over to y'all, but yeah.
She asked me for your number.
Boy, I know you tell me.
I'm telling you.
You would do something like that too. Yeah, you would do something. Zay, see, that's that BS I be telling y'all about. He probably did too. But yeah, man, to see some of the most, what's the word I want to use? Some of the most, what's a good word to say?
The damnedest of people. Because another person was in there was like, "Oh man, he missing." Chris was missing, but we got all the other Black Super Friends in here.
Yes.
Yeah. She wanted your brother to fill in for you in the picture.
Oh yeah,
I said, like your brother to fill in for him. He's something like him.
That night, I wanted to go home, and if it wasn't for Hardy was in there. Hardy got on his cigar, and I started seeing the yee. It was the most felonious characters in that place that night.
I told y'all, I think the best time we had when we went to go get chicken and crack jokes, amongst ourselves, man.
Oh, yeah.
It was all right, but I was out of place. It was for the love of my brother that I was in there. I feel like, because man, but
Eddie Green,
yeah, and yeah, that was a hell of a story too. Let me tell you something. We got a comedian from our city called Revere Beach, Florida. Man, that brother had an impactful conversation with us after Inlet. That boy flew that word so many times in front of them people, boy. I said, "Golly, they gonna put us out."
If you listen. This when I tell you this. Brother Dr. Umar Johnson would have been proud at the highest level of proud. The way we went to an all Caucasian establishment.
Best chicken wing
in the wee hours of the night. We was the only dark-skinned brothers in there, and one other brother named Eddie Green. And when I tell you he cracked that word, I'm talking about he was at his highest peak, just letting it fly. I'm talking about, I'm sitting around like, we're going to have a bar fight any minute now. Any minute. I'm like, bro, there's no way everybody, the cook has to hear this. Bro. He's in there. These are Ritz. These Ritz this. Ritz this. Jesus Christ. He was letting it fly. I said, man, we just sitting there like, this.
He's crazy.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
But bro, you talking about somebody that was the funniest thing, dog. This man, he had put on like a 30-minute show of like jokes to the highest dog. This is the most awkward. I felt like Chris Rock, like, you know how he's on the stage saying inappropriate stuff, everybody looking like, that's how I felt to sit in the booth.
Hey, we had our food already. We had already had our food, so it was perfect, buddy.
Yeah. We was ready to go.
It could have been so bad, boy.
But I'm telling you, that was the highlight of my night. After that chicken, I went to sleep. I was in the
best.
The
highlight of my night was not the end of the show with us. We had a
great standoff.
Yeah, we had another one of our brothers who caused himself so influential. Was under the influence. It was really papped up.
About to get jumped by Dragonfly Jones Jr.
We had another brother in there who wasn't here all the way in his head, and he wanted to do one of my brother's bodily harm immediately when he stepped in there. That was some funny stuff. Revere, but that's why I tell you, I don't. This is the kind of stuff I don't get nowhere else. But there's no way you can draw this up. There's no way you can draw this up, bro.
2 minutes. There's too many things, man. Oh
Be on
boy.
the lookout for the book. It's coming.
Oh boy, I tell you, boy. Listen, the stories alone will make you sit in the booth and laugh. Next week, can we have a conversation about Sierra being thoughtful?
Oh, we need to have a whole conversation about all these treacherous women. The cop that's want to play victim now after she done got trained. What's the black lady for BET? She now all of a sudden she going after the previous owner. Man, Brittany Griner accepting an award for what she never mind. Let's just talk about Sierra.
Next week, let's bring on some estrogens to have this conversation, man. Listen, this might be the shortest show we had in a while. If we can get through the closing comments without a benefit or a benediction. Zay.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. I love it. What you gotta say?
Closing comments, Zay.
I love y'all. I'm glad we got to spend the time that we got to spend. You know what I'm gonna tell you? Tag a friend, share it. It don't cost you nothing, and buy a mug before we start mugging you. God, this don't make no sense. Y'all say y'all fool with us, but y'all ain't got no mug.
Hit the Cash App too. BSF Worldwide.
We out.
Amber, don't be mean. Mario.
Hey man, we appreciate y'all coming, man. Like I said, I had a great weekend. I can't wait to get, man, my new endeavors. I can't wait to see all of y'all new endeavors, man. It's a beautiful thing. We're gonna keep growing, keep doing it. We got to put together a live show this year. Me and Horace was really coming to the understanding of it again. So it's a need because it's a lot of people who really will come in the city of Rio Grande Beach to come see us talk and do what we do best, just be brothers on the stage. So we got to make that happen, man. We got to make that happen. So you can help us make that happen by buying a mug and hitting the Cash App. Those two things will go a long ways for helping us to be right in front of y'all face so y'all can give us y'all point of view and y'all questions right face to face. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Amber, what's your problem? All right, Chris Leo.
I was supposed to not give a benediction, but I am. Before I go out, I would like to, I don't know if it's an apology, I don't know if it's a correction, but last show, I sat here and I defended Will Smith to the death against my compadres.
It's getting good.
Because I honestly felt like Chris Rock was out of line. But then I seen Will respond. Well, he said that he was hurt by the Chris Rock special and how he don't think Netflix should have aired it. They gave him a platform. I think that's about the weakest shit I've ever heard in my life. I think that's about the softest shit I ever heard in my life. Because Will, although I love you, brother, he wouldn't even have that special if you wouldn't have got your ass up there and slapped him. So for you to be the victim now, for you to be appalled that he said this, that he did a Netflix special, that's the bitchest move I've ever seen in my life. That's softer than what he did. No, you caused this. And again, I respect you and Chris, but Will, you caused this because you slapped him. And now you the one playing victim. Like you the one don't think the Netflix should give him a platform. Brother, they gave you an award after you physically assaulted a man. They clapped for you after you physically assaulted a man. Some people actually came and hugged and consoled you. Dog, come on, dog. Don't do that. That's not the softest thing you could have did, dog. For real. It happened to you. I was on your side, but god damn, bro. Now you whining about it? You caused it. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. BSF Worldwide, Cash App, $, BSF Worldwide.
Yeah, well, Chris, I was gonna bring that up to you backstage about that. I'm glad you seen it because I didn't want to just go back and rehash that on this show. But I want to say my main point was this: Chris Rock could have took money out of Will Smith's mouth, and he didn't. and the first thing you do is say, I wish Netflix wouldn't have gave him a platform and tried to take money. He could have had you arrested. He could have had you right then. Everything he could have did, and he didn't. All he did is say some more words, which again, more words. And then here you go trying to take money out of this man's mouth after you slapped him. You physically hurt him. Come on, bro. That's what I said, dog. That's why you can't. It's those people, boy. Now I can't wait to hear what Jada got to say.
That was weak. That was just a weak move. And I'm a Will fan, and that was just a weak move to me.
What would happen if Jada publicly, without him knowing, which I can see easily happen, says she wants a divorce?
Mm-hmm.
She seems to always do what's best for her. So, brother's in a no-win situation, so I ain't gonna say, no-win situation. That's all I got. Hey, just like that, we have concluded another episode of the Black Super Friends podcast. I'll see you next week. There's 3 of us. Next week it'll be 4 again. Luego.